Yeah, I don't know why I got this thing either. You know, it showed up at my doorstep with a note that said, please feed me and give me a place to live. Pretty much that's how it went down. This is the one, the only, the original flat panel all-in-one iMac that was produced after the fiasco of a disaster Luxo lamp iMac with the swing arm thing that always broke and caused all kinds of problems. This is an Imac G5. Now you can tell the G5s from the Intel 17-inch iMacs very easily, and I'm going to show you. What you're going to do is you're going to take a look around back. First of all, the G5 iMacs look like an Intel iMac that has let himself go. It's actually substantially thicker. It is a lot heavier, but most importantly, all of the ports are on the side, like this, in a vertical fashion. Not only that, but the power switch is convex rather than concave. There's no confusing this for an Intel iMac. Now, on another note, this is the very first Macintosh that I ever repaired at my current job. And the funny thing is, they didn't even own it. It wasn't even property of my employer. This was my director or supervisor's personal machine. So here's the deal. I actually repaired this before I got my Apple certification. It was like within a week or so of getting the job. My boss comes in and says, "Hey, I've got a little side project for you." I'm like, "Oh, goody." He says, "My computer that I bought like a year ago, but is freshly out of warranty, is dead. Can you look at it for me?" Now, I'd already done some research on, because I was studying for my Apple exams, and I knew about these, and I also knew about a common problem that plagued this model, like every single one ever made. These were a victim of capacitor gate, and yes, even Apple was affected by it. Poor Apple, who could do no wrong, was affected by capacitor gate, or counterfeit Chinese caps. So, the deal was, there was a secret hidden repair extension that you could have done to these up to 3 years after the warranty was up. And the deal was, I'm out of focus. Why am I out of focus? There we go. The deal was you had to bring it to the Apple store, or you could call Apple and send it in for repair. And if it was definitely that problem, they would give you a new logic board free of charge. Now, because I wasn't Apple certified at the time, I was not able to do the repair. But I did tell my boss that, you know, rather than buying another board for this out of pocket, you can just bring this over to your Apple store. And so no, it wasn't the first one I ever repaired. It was the first one I ever diagnosed. And so he got the thing repaired by Apple free of charge, and he's actually been using it ever since. This machine was repaired sometime around 2000. See, I did the diagnosis in late summer 2006, so yeah. And he had it repaired right around that time. And so I got so my previous director, the gentleman who gave me this machine, he retired from the company years, like 5-6 years ago, and I just got a call from him, and it was good to hear from him. He was a decent guy, and I started my career with him, and he said, "Hey, remember that iMac that you fixed?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do actually." I'm thinking it died again and he wants it fixed again. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, he said, "Do you want it for your computer collection?" Because he knows I have old junk everywhere, and yeah. So I'm like, you know what? I would normally say no to this, but I really do owe my viewers another computer-related video, and this would be the perfect opportunity. So, because I've been making videos of houses and cars and stuff, I owe you guys a solid, and that's what this is. I really don't want this thing. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm not going to scrap it. It's in too good condition. The thing is, a lot of these iMacs ended up in educational environments. But you look at this thing. It doesn't have a hairline scratch on it. It looks brand new. This thing looks like it just came out of the box. He really took care of this machine. It was his baby. And so it never saw the inside of a school or a college. It was used in a computer room in his basement its entire life. And look at this keyboard. This is the original keyboard that came with it. And have you ever seen one in this condition? It is only faintly yellowing. Usually these things are so yellow you can't even tell what color they were originally. But this one, let's look at the bottom of it. This is where the rubber meets the road. Yeah, it's got the typical scratching on the bottom. That was normal. They all did that, but it is in really good shape. And look at this mouse. Have you ever seen one in that condition, besides when they were new? Now, there was a problem that plagued the 17-inch Intel iMacs, and I think it also affected the G5s. This was not covered under a repair extension, but it might have been early on. I don't recall exactly. The problem is the screen would develop what I cleverly dubbed lines disease, where you would wind up with vertical lines. Now, the fix for that was to replace the screen. But anyway, I did have this machine apart back in 06. That's when I discovered the caps were all leaking. These are actually pretty nicely put together. And unlike the Intel 17-inch iMacs or 20 inches, so these came in 17 and 20-inch models. When you release the back cover on the G5, the whole back cover comes off. On the Intel models, the front face comes off. These are easier to work on. But unless you're doing a screen replacement, on this one you've got to pull all the guts out. On the Intel model, you pull the face off and the screen is the first thing you take off. So it's a little different. I haven't even turned this thing on yet, so I just put power to it. Let's see what she does. On the power button. Oh yeah, I think the button is on this side on the Intels. Let's see if she runs. Oh, I don't hear anything. Oh, I didn't plug the power in. Might need that. We don't have wireless power yet. Okay, here we go. So it's probably got a dead clock battery. You hear the hard drive spinning. Yep. Remember when Apple still believed in indicator lights? Yeah, those were the days. Let's see. I'm going to put the camera away from the screen for a second, so in case his name comes up. Let me just do that, because I haven't turned this on. The screen looks good and bright. I don't see any problems there. That's pretty cool. It's got a nice, strong backlight. Fluorescent, of course. So yeah, to take the back covers off, what you've got to do is you need a credit card. I used my, this is going to tell you how long ago I did this. I used a Blockbuster card that I was still actively using to open this thing up. And it looks like I've got a little cat fight under my desk. Thanks, guys. Thanks for providing good entertainment. So use a credit card and pop the latch by sticking it up into the vent. There's one here and there's one over there. Okay, it booted right up. And look at that. Looks like a clean build of, what do we got? Looks like it's pretty clean. 10.5.8. That's exactly what I was going to leave on it. These will not run 10.6, so 10.5.8 is the maximum OS they'll run. This one does not have integrated airport. He actually gave me the dongle that he bought for it. This must have been a fairly base end model. Let's see what the identifier is. We'll see what generation this sucker is. Got 1 gig of RAM, so it's been upgraded. I think I might have done that upgrade, to be honest with you. So it's an PowerMac 8.1 is the identifier. So we've got a G5 running at 600 megahertz. There it is, 1.8. It's right in my face, 1.8 gigahertz. So I'm going to look that up and see where it falls. The date and time are correct, so the clock battery is actually functional, which is surprising. Okay, so a cursory glance on LEM, lowendmac.com. This is the release model. Came out in August of 2004. So this was the first of the Imac G5s. It also said it supported VESA mounting. Maybe the 20-inch model, but I'm not so sure how that would work. Yeah, I don't think so. I think maybe the 20-inch did, but not the 17. But anywho, this has the original 80. Let's see if it has that. This shipped with an 80 gig hard drive when it was new, and where am I going? Get info. And if that's what's in it, it's the original drive. Yeah, it's got the original 80 gig drive in it. A maximum of 2 gigabytes of RAM, but this one actually shipped with 512. So this one had been upgraded later on in its life. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this machine. I really don't want to trash it, but I don't need it. I mean, look at this. I got that 24-inch iMac. I have the one by the cat. You know what I'm talking about him. That one is getting scrapped. It's of no use to anyone. And I've got 3 21.5-inch iMacs that I'm supposed to be giving away, and I just haven't done it yet. And to family, not to viewers of YouTubeness. Sorry about that, guys. Don't mean to disappoint. Don't worry, I'm saving you the hassle. No, that one's for my girlfriend, that one's for my mom, and that one's for my sister. That's how they're supposed to be distributed, but I just don't have the freaking time to do it. Anyway, so yeah. And I've put some of my collection up on Craigslist, but no bites yet, because I don't have the room. What I want to do to this room here, though, is I'm going to be building more. I got to get some plywood and some stuff, but I want to build basically countertops all around here, and just yeah, I just want to do that so I can put more stuff you know, up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have like a little laptop workspace that comes here. It goes from like here to wherever the door ends up landing, and then it'll be just for like smaller things, maybe a printer, and then this will be built out. This is gonna come out of here. I'm gonna repurpose this somewhere else, but you know, future is what it is. But back to the little iMac here. So it's got a I think it's a single layer DVD drive, not a dual. It's a SuperDrive 4X. I don't believe it'll write to dual layer discs, so that's unfortunate. Is this a fresh build? Let me see. I think it is. There's no way that my previous director would leave his stuff on here. Yeah, he's smart. He took his stuff off. Yeah, he said he cleanly built it. So that's cool. I didn't get the restore discs for it. He must have them filed away somewhere, but I'm glad he thought of me, you know. This makes for great video content. Maybe we should take the back cover off. Let's do that. Okay, I was just kidding about the credit card trick. That only works on the Intel Macs. These are even easier to open. It has these captive locking screws. It has 3 of them on the bottom, and look at this. The main logic board was replaced, and this is the new Ethernet ID sticker that Apple gives you to put over the existing. I've had to do many of those over the years. Let's pop this cover off here. There we go. Put that aside. So yeah, this is the back cover. Look at how well made this thing really is, though. Man, it's just crazy how well put together these really are. This is a plastic cover with a fairly thick aluminum shield on the back, and there's the interface for the power button that connects to the a lot of use of foam, and just very well made. I've always respected Apple for their engineering and design. I mean, their computers felt like they were quality pieces of equipment, where everybody else was going the other way around, you know. But look at this. I mean, so this is where we're going to put our Ethernet card. I think I have one of these somewhere. I'm going to put in a new clock battery while we're in here. But look at how beautiful this thing really is. Unbelievable. So beautiful. I mean, you almost don't want to put the covers on. It's that beautiful. They got foam to interface the fan duct to the rear cover. The foam is starting to lose its foaminess. You've got full desktop dims. This is and I'm glad I did this. This is a beautiful rig. I mean, it's just incredible. There's your modem. Super drive. High quality. Look at how clean it is. It's like you never used it. I believe this model has an ambient light sensor on it, and I think it's probably up there somewhere. Maybe not. No, I think the one that superseded it had the ambient light sensor. This actually looks more like an X-Serve apart. But there's your... Man, this is such a beautiful machine. I forgot how beautiful the G5s were. But this is the only one I've ever seen. This is the only one I ever had apart. And here we are, more than 13 years later. But these are the caps. So when I had this open, when he brought it to me, every one of these caps was blown. Every single one. I remember, I'm like, oh my god, this thing is crazy. It's gone. You need a new motherboard, son. Now, what I actually did was I offered to replace the caps. So that was the plan. If Apple declined the claim for any reason, or if it wasn't even covered, I was fully prepared to recap the board in this thing for them. And I was going to charge them for it, too. It's a lot of work. But every one of these caps was popped. But there's the original hard drive. I've got so many 500 gig drives kicking around, I might just pop one in. Just do a... Because I don't have a 10.5.8 install set anymore, so what I was going to do is I'll just do a time machine backup and just recover it with a new drive. That's not a big deal. But we're going to put a coin cell battery in. I'm going to check my stock and see if I have a... I know I had one somewhere. I just popped the old battery out. We're going to pop in a brand new one. I just checked my supply, and I don't have any of those. I actually did a lot of house cleaning when I moved into this house, and or moved out of the other one. And a lot of the stuff didn't make it. So I don't have any. I thought I had some 1 gigabyte sticks that would go in here, but we can max it out. What are these? Looks like we got 2700, so... I know I had some. I might even have them at work. So, let's take a look. 2700. Yeah, I don't have any of that left. I did find some 256s, but not what I need for here. But again, one quick sweep around before my camera battery dies. This is a beautiful machine. It really is. So just, ugh. Why did Apple have to go to hell like that? Now, oh, okay. Look at how just amazing. Just incredible. So the air is drawn... Oh, I see. So one of these blowers... So this is the hard drive blower. I'm trying to figure out how the CPU is cooled because I'm not seeing any ductwork for it. It looks like it interfaces with this duct here, but where does the air come from? Is there a blower down here? There has to be. Yeah, I think so. I think I see 2 fans in there. That's got to be it. Does this come out? Looks like it does. That unlocks it. Yeah, I'm not really... Yeah, that makes good sense. So, you know, it was machines like this that really got me into Apple in the first place. And as technology and, you know, manufacturing techniques have changed, I just lost interest. I mean, these were fixable. They were, well, unreliable. I mean, due to component failures, but they were, you know, they were what they were. And, yeah, I don't know. They were, if nothing else, they were well built, And today is the 16th? No. Today is now the 15th because it's now Sunday. As I was saying, 12, 21, oops, you can't type 21, huh? 22, 12, 21, 12, 22 a.m. A lot has changed, and it's just sign of the times, I guess. But I really think that Apple should have made this if they could have done this while making FCC rules compliant and whatever. If they could have made the back of this machine clear, could you imagine how beautiful that would have been in a computer lab? It just, you know, machines where you can see the backs because they're in rows, you know. That would have been beautiful, but they didn't, so they suck. Good night.